award-winning cinema classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm Johnny DiLoretto. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
I'm John DeSando.
This is Cinema Classics.
It sure is. Now, is Brad Bird old enough to be a classic for us?
Wow, man. I mean, we don't do that. I mean, it just depends, right?
Yeah.
Like, it depends. I don't know. I really am unmoved by this guy.
Okay. All right. And yet he's had some incredible successes.
Yeah.
I mean, starting with Incredibles 1
starting
and
with
2.
The Iron Giant.
And the Iron
which
Giant first.
is considered, I think, a sort of modern classic.
Yes, it is.
Modern animation classic. And it is. That is a lovely movie. I remember seeing it for the first time. I didn't think a whole lot about it then, but then as the years went on, people revisited it. It gained a wider audience in its later years, and when you do look back on it, the animation is great. That throwback to the sort of like 50s style animation. And,
here you have a giant who's probably as tall as a skyscraper, maybe, with a little kid befriending him.
Yeah.
And then the fear that technology is going to do away with this poor lovable creature and so on. Yeah, it's got a... What I think for Brad Bird is the human element of it. I love, for instance, in both The Incredibles, the emphasis on family. Even though they're superheroes, they're families with real issues. Growing kids, awareness of the public, of their role, even the public turning on them.
Yeah. It is. That The Incredibles is a great movie. It's one of Pixar's best movies.
Yes.
It's right up there with that first. Well,
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
I still think Toy Story, the first Toy Story, is one of the great works.
Yeah.
And this came out. So The Iron Giant came out in '99. And
That's
then
correct.
What year was The Incredibles?
2004.
So he does nothing in between those.
Right.
Nothing.
Hey,
What's he doing?
It took him 14 years to do Incredibles 2.
Wait, well, what is he doing in between those?
He's
movies?
doing in
between the Iron Giant.
I know a movie I love. I don't think you love as much as I. Ratatouille.
In between, he did that.
Right after Incredibles.
Yeah, what did he do in
2007.
between? What I'm saying.
2004. 3 years to do Ratatouille.
When I'm asking this.
1999,
The Iron Giant,
right.
And then 2004, The Incredibles. He does nothing in between.
I don't know. He's working for Pixar.
I know, it's crazy.
He's probably doing a lot of work for Pixar. What about Ratatouille?
It's overrated.
I knew you would like it. A little rat.
I get it. I know. It's everybody fawned over that movie like crazy. The animation is beautiful, but it's ridiculous. I mean, I can't even get like. Let me. Okay, hold on for a second. Toy Story is such a brilliant concept, right? The toys talk when you're out of the room. Great, simple.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
The Iron Giant.
Right.
A little boy befriends a gigantic mechanical robot. Great, simple. Right. The Incredibles. Here's a family of superheroes.
Yeah.
Right. Great. Ratatouille. Here's a rat that is like cooking by pulling the guy's hair under a chef's toque, and he's like operating the guy like but that's ridiculous. It doesn't hold up to even cartoon standards of
to have a
believability.
rat whom you'd allow to be in a kitchen.
Like I know, I get that. If it was just the rat cooking,
I love
that's okay. But
well,
pulling the guy's hair, I was okay.
At some point, we've mentioned before, I love the depiction of the food critic.
Yes,
Was the
voiced by Peter O'Toole.
Oh, I know.
Right, so that's great.
This lonely critic.
And his mouth, the way his mouth kind of drooped.
Kind of savaging us all.
Yeah.
In our loneliness.
And I just defy you to even remember anything from that movie other than a rat running around cooking. There's nothing memorable about it.
Well, but then it took him 4 years to do something. What I like about Brad Bird, he doesn't stick to animation. He goes right for Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Now, that was an interesting choice, and I believe he kind of turned the franchise around there. Because I was actually, believe it or not, as big a Tom Cruise fan as I am, was not really moved by the Mission Impossible films. Okay. I didn't really like them very much at all. I didn't think they had any... grit to them, or
Well, there were a lot of process, a lot of
Yeah.
tricky process, but never the
But
character you like.
Ghost Protocol, he begins to turn the franchise around, and then that last movie, the fifth, Rogue Nation, MI5, which was not directed by him,
That's correct.
but directed by Christopher McQuarrie, I think is the best one of the series. And so I'm really excited to see this next one. But I think it was Brad Bird's work on that fourth one that kind of set the tone to go in a different direction. So that I am grateful for.
Another 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he does something completely different, which is a failure.
It's awful.
That I liked
It
it.
is awful.
Tomorrowland.
It's terrible.
With George Clooney.
It is
What?
unsittable through.
The kid.
If that's
finds a
even a
little
word.
kid,
If
the
that is
trans-
even a word.
the transport
is-
him. It's Disney.
It is a travesty of. Oh God, I don't want to remember it.
Well,
It was terrible in that movie.
I think typical Bird. It is filled with humanity, and you have
It is?
Clooney. You have Clooney
You know,
as
I
a
don't think it
retired
is.
scientist, right?
I think I
Little
would
kid
like
who
it
finds
more
a pin.
if it was filled with humanity.
Well,
I might have a fonder remembrance of it.
yeah. Well,
It was, here's the interesting through line to some of this stuff, excluding Mission Impossible 5. You look at Iron Giant, you look at The Incredibles, you see a nostalgia at work, right?
right.
A nostalgia for an earlier time or an earlier aesthetic, even. What's interesting about The Incredibles is it's this weird mashup of superhero movies and spy movies. It's kind of drawing from both the superhero genre and James Bond films.
Yes.
Even right down to its score is more spy-like than superhero-like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrowland is him really just indulging in that nostalgic
Yeah.
aesthetic,
Yeah.
and it just goes nowhere. It is a big, expensive thud.
I don't remember it well enough to be able to argue
Right, of
with
course
it.
you don't remember it. It's not memorable. It's terrible.
Except that I had a good feeling about it, probably for that nostalgic aura that you were talking about.
Man, I defy you to tell me what that movie's about.
But I think The Incredibles is such a trenchant observation about our legalistic society, about our about fame, and of how it turns on itself. I think it's a perfect Trumpian kind of movie where everything seems to be turned around. Here are people who are saving lives who are actually illegal. Superheroes are illegal.
Right.
This family has to fight to
It's
get
kind
a
of-
status.
Right, it's kind of an idea that Marvel picked up on in Civil War. Marvel Civil
Oh yes, of course.
Captain America Civil War,
Yes,
right?
very
Where
good.
the superheroes are split now
Yeah, yeah.
because one faction wants government regulation, one doesn't.
Oh, you were so right. And in fact, the family has to turn to become illegal to become legal. So things are turned around. Mom has to leave family. It's all filled with it. We're going to do that. We will have done that last week on It's Movie Time. And I'm certainly enjoyed watching both of those films by a seemingly young, now I think he's still with Pixar. Of course, Incredibles is still with Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brad Bird will fly for a few more years.
I think if he makes another movie like Tomorrowland, I'll be Brad Bored.